guys, welcome back to my channel here today. And as you can see, I have a new background because I'm back home in Hong Kong. So currently at this time of filming, I'm actually back at home in Hong Kong. Background change, I'm also trying a little bit different things here to see like what is a good background for me to do this kind of video. Without further ado, I will jump into today's video about if you're a recent graduate or if you're graduating soon and you don't know what to do. I hope this video can help you a little bit more on like career planning or career exploration type of stuff. And so I want to start with the introduction. Basically, I want to tell you about myself a little bit more and where I'm going next after graduation. So after graduation, I'm graduating this December 2023, and after graduation, I'm actually going to return to my internship placement, which I had during summer of 2023 at Microsoft, and I'm returning to the same team and the same position as well as a technical program manager. I kind of found out my passion in product management through sophomore year internship, and so actually I was a software engineer intern back in the sophomore year internship, and I realized I don't really like being a software engineer, and so during my junior year, I'm actually more focusing on just applying for product manager roles or even program manager roles, because since I feel like I am more of a communication type of person, I like to do like leaderships, I like to create projects, lead projects, things like that. And so that's why I kind of pivot myself into the product role. I also want to link how I crack my PM interviews right here in this video. So if you're interested or if you have any like interviews coming up, that video might also help you to do your interviews and prep for interviews as well. I guess as you can see, my interest and passion on product management kind of rise from there. I was also involved in a lot of campus involvement clubs. I have a lot of leadership roles within campus, and I've also like do volunteer work with like nonprofits. I try to involve myself in as many nonprofits as I can for, you know, whether it is to help with the cause or is it to be, you know, more versatile, trying different roles and things like that. And I also link a day of my life as a project manager here on this video, where I was a project manager with Spark during my years at BU. And then the next section, I wanted to go into giving you some more insights of what a product manager actually does. And so first things in this section, I want to talk about just day-to-day life of a product manager. And I would say a day-to-day life of a product manager is actually you have a lot of meetings. I have had like days where I have meetings back to back, just like meetings with like my manager, meetings with the design team, with the engineering team, and sometimes I have coffee chats. And then another thing is also we have a lot of documentations that we need to write. For example, we have to write documentations for designers, documentations for engineers, or even just like proposals for your direct managers for them to get approved and have the product or have the features to get shipped out and start the development process, the design process, and things like that. And then I want to talk about some of the responsibility and expectations. Some responsibilities are definitely just like setting the product vision and setting the product goals for your manager to have like some KPIs to measure success of the product or the features that you're launching. You will also have to define some of the product requirements in your design specification when you're handing it over to designers for to design things. And then just like managing the product life cycles and also collaborating and communicating through like cross-team functional communications. Some of the softer skills, expectations are definitely like leadership skills, communication skills, and problem solving skills. I think those are like top 3 skills that you would have. And some of the salaries, expectations, and perks I want to talk about. On average, I just looked it up, it's around 74,000 per year on average that a product manager would earn. A lot of times you have a lot of flexibility on work arrangement, whether it is in person, remote, or hybrid work arrangement. I think as a product manager, there's less stressful. It's just different kind of stress level when you're comparing to a software engineer. But I think overall, product manager has a better time with like mental health and just wellness in general. And then last but not least, I also want to talk about just work-life balance and flexibility. Even though you have a lot of meetings during the daytime, there's not a lot of OT or overtime that you need to do you don't need to debug things. A lot of time you're working 9 to 5, and by 5 you're basically clocking off with like meetings. As a product manager, you're not really an expert in anything. You're more like the expert in mediating, talking with the cross-team functional, making sure things doesn't get lost in communications or getting lost in translation and things like that. And so in that sense, you're really just there to communicate and giving out information. You're not like an expert in things. And so one thing that I learned is also that it's always okay to just say I don't know, and I'll get back to you after I talk to my manager or I talk to my engineers. In that sense, I think it's less stressful on my end because it might sometimes feel like all eyes are on you, but it doesn't have to be that way. And then next thing I want to talk about just insights into what it's like being a software engineer. I don't have per se like full-time experience as a software engineer, but I do have experience with like as an intern, being a software engineer intern, what it's like being a software engineer intern. Back then when I was a software engineer intern, I have 2 projects on my hand. My thing is that I have to complete both projects within like 3 months time, and so for me during that time it was a little stressful. I didn't really like it. As for like the day-to-day of a software engineer intern, for me it's a lot of coding. I don't have a lot of meetings. I might have like 1 or 2 meetings, but those are just like project updates or end up with my manager, with the team. And so relatively when comparing to like product managers, you don't really have a lot of meetings that you have to attend. And then another thing is also if you're working for a bigger company, you probably have to work with existing code. And so in that sense, you also have to be able to read old code and implement your new code on top of the existing code. And for me, I don't really like doing that just because I get a little confused. And I just think reading old code or like code I'm not familiar with is a lot of work, and personally speaking, I'm just not that type of person, I guess. And some of the expectations as a software engineer is definitely like having the ability to write clear code and good code and efficient code, because that's really what the core of it is. Another thing is also you have to write clear documentations for like handing off to other engineers, or if you're leaving a job, you have to write documentations to explain it to other engineers as well. And then another thing that people always kind of overlook is also being able to deliver a presentation to people who are non-technical, because a lot of the times you are talking to like product managers, and some of the times product managers have like technical experience, but sometimes you also have to kind of have your presentation to people who are non-technical. For example, you're presenting your feature or your product to the legal team, to the marketing team, to explain what it actually does and how they can market it, good, to appeal to the right audience. And then as for salary expectations and perks, they definitely have a higher salary expectations than product managers. On average, people who are software engineers make around like 90k to 130k starting salary. And a lot of times there are remote work just because you don't really have to be in person. It's a lot of time you're looking at code and you're debugging code, or you're like creating new codes. For job security, there's also a lot of opportunities out there with like software engineers. So opportunity wise, software engineers definitely have more open position than product managers. And then as for work-life balance and flexibility, I've heard work-life balance aren't as good as a product manager just because there's a lot of overtime that you have to do. Sometimes when you're launching a feature and there's like big bugs, or if there's bugs in your code, you have to go in and do it at that time. And a lot of times software engineers also have like periods where they have to be on call, which I don't think is the same for product managers. I don't think product managers have like on-call period. They have to be on call. Sometimes like code takes a lot of time to debug, and so that also would lead to like overtime and having to work having to work like time out of office. And so those are like my 2 cents of what it's like being a software engineer. I can't really tell you in depth, but there's definitely other software engineers out there who has better experience out there that you can go reach out. Because I want to move on to my next section, which is the core of today's video. Like, what are you gonna do if you don't know what you really wanted to do? And so I want to talk about some of the career exploration plan that you can try and figure out yourself in your own time. It's a very easy 4-step plan. First is reflections. You want to understand yourself, to understand what you're good at and what you enjoy, because you don't want to do something that you hate. It's like the questions of Would you want to do something that you hate but you earn a lot of money, or would you want to do something you love but earn less money? For me, my answer is always the latter, just because I don't think I can do something that I hate, and I don't think money can replace, hatred or make happiness. So for me, it's always I want to find something that I really like and I really enjoy. And second is do research. You want to explore and understand your options. Just because my major is computer science doesn't mean I have to go into like the software engineer route. I have to be a data scientist. I have to be an engineer. I can be other things too. Product manager is a perfect route for me. Having a technical background is always a plus for me because I don't really like to do the engineer stuff. I like to do more of the managing stuff. Product management in the tech field is actually like perfect route for me. And then the third thing is you want to get exposure to like people, programs, or even just places that can allow you to meet people that you're interested in to go into your field. And by program, I mean early career program like the MLH fellowships. They have the software engineer practicum, or they have the other one, I think is site reliability practicum. There's also other early career opportunities like the Meta University, the Google STEM program, and also the Microsoft Explorer program that you can try it out to see what you really like. And last step is basically just getting experience, and this is where internship comes in. It's most likely going to be during your junior year or even sophomore year. If you're able to, you can get some hands-on experience of what it's like being the job that you want to go into, just like how I want to be a PM. And so before I actually become a full-time PM, I have a technical program manager internship, and then that kind of leads me into my full-time job. I will also link my video on how to get your first internship in this video. So if you're interested, or if you really want to get your first internship, you can also try to look at that video, see if it's helpful for you. If it's not, you can always leave a comment in the video and I'll try my best to answer them. But other than that, I think those are all the things that I want to talk about in today's video. If you want to stay tuned for more of my content, you can click the subscribe button and the bell button so you get notification whenever I post. I'll be posting soon with more about career, travel, or even just normal vlogs. But other than that, this is a wrap for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time I post. Bye!